So the second stage is motivational strategy for students. For the motivation, we consider 4 R's. First one is responsibility, second relationships, third rewards, and fourth reasons. Kindly start giving me the answers. What do you consider in responsibilities? Okay, Tripti ma'am, we'll definitely work on this. We have noted down your suggestion. Yes, so the first thing is responsibility. What do you feel, how responsibility works for bringing the motivation amongst the students? Yeah, I start getting the answers. Yeah, I started getting the answers. Shri Devi ma'am says, act of taking up that I am accountable for the job done. Absolutely right, ma'am. Responsibility towards peer society at large. Neeta ma'am says, absolutely right, ma'am. Sonali ma'am says, willingly to do some task. Absolutely right, ma'am. Shri Devi ma'am says, ownership. Absolutely, ma'am. So, Shilpa ma'am says, accountability. Absolutely right, ma'am. Sunita ma'am says responsibility for their result. Absolutely right, ma'am, because ultimately this is the assessment which tells us where my child stands. Shilpa ma'am says responsibility to make the concept clear to the students, better understanding. Absolutely right, ma'am. Gajendra Singh says accountability. Absolutely true. So this is a responsibility where we can make the child responsible for his do's and don'ts, where we can ask the child that this is your responsibility to make your family proud upon. This is your responsibility to act upon, because whatever the resources the parents could have provided, they have provided to you. The best what the parent can provide, they have provided to you. What the best teachers are able to provide, they have provided to you. If you have any doubt, any concern, you can reach to us. But now, if everything is okay, then it is your responsibility to perform. This is how we can bring the sense of responsibility amongst the students. Next is relationship. How you feel, what kind of relationships motivates the students? That is maybe their friend circle relationship, that is maybe their family, their cousins relationship, where they feel that, okay, if my cousin is doing well, if my cousin got the admission in a very prestigious college or university, in the same way, I also have to do. If the child is the eldest in the cousins, then he or she may feel that, yes, this is my responsibility to keep myself uphold where all my other cousins could take me as a role model. So this is how we feel that the relationships also work. Yes, Usha ma'am says friendly and trustworthy. Absolutely right, ma'am. Sonali ma'am says understanding and those having scope for everyone. Exactly, ma'am. Neeta ma'am says healthy peer relationship. Absolutely, ma'am. Dr. Tiwari says set example for them. Absolutely. Neeta ma'am says social acceptable relationships. Very, very true, ma'am. Divyaja ma'am says healthy peer relationship, sharing and care. Absolutely right, ma'am. This is how we bring the motivation amongst the students. Prarthana ma'am says healthy peer and teacher relationship. Absolutely true, ma'am. Yeah. Next is rewards. So why rewards are so important to motivate the students? What do you feel? How much the motivation, or for the motivation, how much the rewards plays the part? Okay, Rupali ma'am says healthy peer relationships. Sri Devi ma'am says again, types of relationships depends on age of the student. That's true, ma'am. With age, their ways, their types also differs. Neeta ma'am says empathy. Absolutely right, ma'am. Sulochana ma'am says sharing and caring with friends. Neeta ma'am says rewards are recognition. Sophie ma'am says it will improve their confidence. Absolutely right, ma'am. Shilpa ma'am says to get the best out of them. Sri Devi ma'am says feels confident about oneself. Sakina ma'am says to build confidence. Martina ma'am says encourages children. Usha ma'am says to boost the self-confidence. Arun sir says in classroom teaching must allow students to speak. Okay, sir. Dr. Tiwari says they feel confident by receiving the rewards. Absolutely right, sir. Neeta ma'am says rewards are positive reinforcement. Absolutely right, Neeta ma'am. They bring the positivity amongst the students. They feel that, okay, I got the recognition. And that recognition, that charm of that recognition plays very important role. Shilpa ma'am says rewards gives encouragement. Absolutely right, ma'am. Dr. Tiwari says it increased their approach. Devyaja ma'am says confidence of the student will be improved and they try to achieve better. Absolutely right, ma'am. Sonali ma'am says to appreciate students. Gajendra sir says rewards is equal to confidence. Rosa ma'am says goal oriented. Right, ma'am. Jayashri ma'am says appreciation increases the confidence. Sulochana ma'am says to increase self-development. Geeta ma'am says developing leadership qualities. Absolutely right, ma'am. If the child is getting some reward, then the child feels that yes, I have done the work up to the mark, and from where the leadership qualities started building up. Absolutely right, ma'am. Tripti ma'am says rewards make them do more and more. Absolutely, ma'am. Rupali ma'am says reward gives encouragement and will improve the confidence. Lata ma'am says develop self-confidence. Absolutely, ma'am. Recognition and reward. Okay. Tiwari sir says allowed them to demonstrate the topics. Flip classroom. Absolutely right, sir. This also motivates them that, okay, instead of teacher, today I am taking the class. Instead of teacher, today I am discussing this topic. Instead of teacher, I am explaining this chapter. And this is how the confidence builds up. And this is how the child gets motivated to learn and to prepare more and more. Absolutely right. Simi Thomas ma'am says, makes them seen. Absolutely, ma'am. They feel that, yes, we are recognized by our peer, we are recognized by our teachers, we are recognized by our parents, we are recognized by our communities. Anjali ma'am says building self-confidence. Absolutely, ma'am. Martina ma'am says motivates those who are not participating. Absolutely, ma'am. The children, those who are below performers, they also finding it good that, okay, if the other child has prepared well and if the other child is getting the recognition, then why not me? Why I can't do this? Maybe if I will also work hard, maybe if my teacher feels I'm also doing good, maybe I also get the same recognition. And this is how the learning starts. And this is how the standard of the students rises. So the next comes reasons. Why reasons play a very vital role when we talk about motivational strategies. What is your understanding on this? Reasons. If we are here Yes, Dr. Tiwari says the goal of life. Absolutely. When we find the reasons that why am I doing this thing, the moment you satisfy yourselves that yes, this is the reason why I am doing this, if you get the answer of that why, you start working for that. Neeta ma'am says standardized reasons gives direction. Absolutely, ma'am. Rosa ma'am says reasons help them to think critically. Absolutely right, ma'am. Lata ma'am says it gives drive to move. Absolutely, ma'am. And by this, the child understands. Okay, so Rochna ma'am says update ourselves. Yes, when we get the reason that, okay, if the teacher says me, do study, why? You find this problem not only in the younger kids, but in the students, those who are in grade 11 and 12. They are also facing the same problems. They are also facing the same issue. Because most of the students, they are not having their proper goals. They are not at all aware of why am I going to school, what I will be doing if I'll do the studies in a proper way, what is my goal of life, what I want to be. Many of the students, they are not aware of what career choice would be better for them. Most of the students, they are aimless, even in this 21st century. Most of the students, even in very, very good schools, very, very big schools, are aimless. Most of the students, they are not aware of what are my interests, what are my hobbies, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, where I have to work upon, where am I so good, which area or which direction would be leading me to a successful life. They are not aware of. And here comes the part of teacher, where the teacher connects with the child, where the teacher says that, yes, this is why you have to do study. This is why you have to be the subject expert. This is why you have to study this subject. When you start giving the answers of why, the students understand the reason that why he has to do. And here the transformation starts. These are the 7 C's of communication. Why effective communication is very, very important for the students as well as for the teachers to give clarity of in the instruction, what the teacher wants from the students, that clarity, that confidence, where the child is connected to the student, and where they say that why the communication should be strong between the pupil and the facilitator. Yeah, reasoning helps them understand where they are, Rosa Webb says. Absolutely right, ma'am. So why the communication, the correct communication, why the strong communication is required between the teacher and the student? How much do you feel that the yes, effective communication avoids the gaps in between. Yes, to become approachable. Sunita ma'am says, absolutely right, ma'am. Anjali ma'am says, effective communication is a key factor to ensure that the situation is resolved in a respectful manner. Absolutely right, Anjali ma'am. So we can understand that communication is also one of the very major and effective way for which what is the requirement by the educator to reach to the students. And this is how we say that the roles for classroom interactions by the teachers. This is how there should be interaction between students and students. We say it SSTT, student talking time, and another side STT, student teacher talking time. So both things should be there in the classroom. There should not be any gap in between. We should give a fair time to the students also to discuss, to talk in a very constructive way. And at the same time, the teacher should also be connected with the students for the better understanding of the students. And these are the different types of classroom interactions we can go for. The role play, conversation with learners, storytelling, soliloquies, loud reading, interactive sessions, discussions and debates on different topics, collaborative learning. All these are the types of classroom interaction by which we can make our classrooms more vocal, more understandable, more approachable, and more better for the learners. Now comes the very, very important part of our teachings, the assessments. So what do you feel? How the assessment works for our learning and teaching? By this picture, what are you able to understand? What are you able to understand by this picture? Okay. Students' learning outcome. Okay, Deepika ma'am, I will share the link again. Students' learning outcomes. Okay. It upgrade the students. Absolutely right. And do you feel that this is something which shows our preparedness also? Do you feel this is not the assessment of the child, but it is the assessment of the teacher as well? How many of you feel so, that this is just the reflection of our teaching, what the students are getting? Okay, keep on replying. Yeah, I want answers from everyone, no matter which class we are teaching, no matter which subject we are teaching. But yes, our students are going through this assessment process. So yes, so it's assessment by learning and assessment of learning. Absolutely right. Absolutely. Shri Devi ma'am, absolutely, you are right. It's assessment by learning and assessment of learning. Yeah, Usha ma'am, I have shared the link. You have to fill this attendance sheet, and then we will provide you the link for certificates. Yes, Sunita ma'am, you have to fill this as attendance first, and after that we will provide you the link for certificate as well. Yes, so these are the classroom management 3Cs. We are always looking for: connection, consistency, and compassion. These are the things by which we can connect to the students, we can consistent, and we show the compassion towards the learners. And this is the last slide where I am giving you my top 10 classroom management tips. Very first thing, no matter what class we are teaching, make some class rules as the class in charge or the class teacher, whatever is being called in your school. All those class rules should be framed, should be kept in your classroom somewhere on the softboard or on the wall, wherever you find it better. And in every weekend or fortnightly, those rules should be read in the classroom. Always, second rule, always make the eye contact to the students to settle them down properly. Because when you are entering into some classroom, the students have just over with the previous class. So might be some are moving, some are sitting, some are yawning, some are drinking water, something. So do not simply go inside and start teaching. Let us them settle down properly. And for that, eye contact is the very, very strong thing. You just simply, you need not to do anything. Simply give the eye contact until the child settles down. And by your eyes, they can easily see that, yes, now ma'am or sir, they are looking at me and I should be settled down. Number 3, very important thing, address students by names. Make sure that your students' name should be remembered by you. When you call them by the names, they know that teacher knows me very well. If you say, hey boy, oh, this girl, they can easily identify that the teacher doesn't know and they would not pay any heed to you. Number 4, show concern on what they are saying. If they're coming with some suggestion, if they're coming with some problem, some doubt, some issue, please listen them. Even if you are in a hurry, if you are having shortage of time, even then, allow them to hear you. Allow them to finish their talk and listen them properly. They will feel that, yes, we are heard by our teacher. Our teacher likes us. Our teacher gives weightage to us. Next is non-verbal discipline is very important. Give a smile if you feel it is good. You can stare them if you feel they are talking. If they are not listening, you frown, or maybe you can raise your eyebrows. So these kind of gestures would definitely help them to be settled down and they will not disturb you. You can use your body language also to manage the classroom. If you feel by your body gestures, you can show by your hand movement like this would not interrupt the entire class. And whosoever is interrupted, they will understand that, yes, ma'am has seen us and ma'am is trying us to settle down. Another very important thing, maybe it is junior or senior classes, students are carrying very heavy bags. So for that, if you give them a day prior, which book or which notebook or which workbook the children have to carry would also help a lot to the students. They should, if they're well informed, it will be easier for you also, because at times it happens, you have to carry their notebooks for checking, but the student says, ma'am, I forgot at home. And by that, you also miss that particular notebook to check. So it is better to give the prior information to the students for your particular subjects. Next, you can allow your students to raise hands if they have any query or if they want to answer, so that your class should be managed. Your class should not be, raising the voice, because especially in grades 6th, 7th and till 6th, 7th, you find the students, they're very strong to give replies. So that time you should make some class rules which are to be followed by the students. Do not start packing up. At times it happens that the students, especially before the break time period and the last period, they started packing up their bags, they're closing their books and notebooks, and most of your time gets wasted in that. So for that also, you can make sure your students in the beginning only, if you will give these instructions to your students, that until you say they should not close their books, they should not keep their bags, their books into their bags, it will definitely impact upon their teaching and learning process. Next, and the last, is care calls to the parents. Believe me, my dear educators, connecting to the parents, understanding the parents, what they want from you, what they want from you, their child, would definitely help you to bring and to maintain that bonding with your parents. That is the foremost thing of today's life. The parents, they are also having lesser time for their children nowadays, because most of the parents are working. At the same time, you also having some issues which you want to discuss with the parents. So every time, whenever you have to reach the parents, you should not be only complaining to the parents. Always start your calls with a positive point, then slowly come to that point which you want to convey to the parents, and then again end your calls with some positive note that yes sir, I do believe that the child will definitely come out of this situation or of these issues. And in that way, you are also connecting with the parents. Parents will also feel satisfied that yes, the other side, the teacher is also taking care of my child. The teacher is also well informed about the strength and weaknesses of my child, also taking proper care of my child. So this is how these care calls works for you in a very, very wonderful manner. So I am open for your replies, my dear teachers. I am done for today's workshop. Yes, Anjali ma'am says using polite language and raising concerns about one another's statement is a respectful manner, allowing students to work ahead and deliver short presentation. Absolutely, ma'am. Neeta ma'am says, okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Neeta ma'am. Sunita Kumar ma'am, thank you so much to you too. Okay, Neeta ma'am says nice, enjoyable and informative session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all my dear educators. Thank you Priyanka ma'am. Thank you Sunita ma'am. Thank you Jyoti ma'am. Thank you thank you Shilpa ma'am. Thank you Veena ma'am. Thank you Anjali ma'am. Thank you Gajendra sir. Thank you Shubhangi ma'am. Thank you Tripti ma'am. Thank you Shri Devi ma'am. Thank you Usha ma'am. Thank you Sophie ma'am. Thank you Geeta ma'am. Thank you Hala ma'am. Thank you Purnima ma'am. Thank you Lata ma'am. Thank you Martina. And this is my humble request to all of you that kindly give all these your comments on the YouTube also when I will be uploading this, because all your these inputs will definitely help us to move further and to bring some more beneficial and some more informative sessions by which we all can learn. Yeah, thank you so much, Pratna ma'am. Thank you, Solochna ma'am. Thank you, Simi ma'am. Thank you, Savitri ma'am. Thank you, Radhika ma'am. Thank you, Kajendra sir. Thank you, Preeti ma'am. Thank you, Manjari ma'am. Thank you, Nazneen ma'am. Thank you, Ritu ma'am. Thank you, Jayashri ma'am. Thank you, Rakhi ma'am. Thank you, Renuka ma'am. Thank you, Lata ma'am. Thank you, Vishwajyoti Kaur ma'am. Thank you, Satyabhama ma'am. Thank you, Sunita ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Tiwari. Thank you, Shilpa ma'am. Thank you, Shubhada ma'am. Thank you, Shri Devi ma'am, for getting the certificates. Yes, ma'am, Shri Devi ma'am. First, you have to fill the attendance form, and then we will circulate the form for certification also. Thank you, Yogini ma'am. Thank you, Shrija ma'am. Thank you, Anjali ma'am. Thank you, Pallavi ma'am. And again, I would request all of you to please give your comments on our YouTube channel also, because it will definitely motivate us to bring more and more such kind of workshops where we all can be benefited. Because again, sharing is caring. And as the name of the academy, we have to scale up. Yeah, thank you, Anita ma'am. Thank you, Deepika ma'am. Thank you, Gajendra sir. Yeah, certificate link. First, you have to fill this attendance sheet, and then we will share the certificate link as well. Thank you, Shri Devi ma'am. Attendance form is there only, ma'am. You just scroll the chats. At the top, you will find the attendance form. Yeah. Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am. Okay, already filled. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, Subha ma'am. Thank you, Vishwajyoti ma'am. Yeah. Okay, so this attendance form has to be filled, ma'am. And after then, those who are willing for the certificate, they can mention in the this WhatsApp group where they are willing for the certificate, and we will provide you the link for the certification as well. Okay, Shri Devi ma'am says that you didn't get. Okay, for the certificates, ma'am, you please either join our WhatsApp group. There we can provide you, or you fill the attendance sheet. Once you fill the attendance sheet, then we will provide you the certification link as well. I have shared the link, ma'am. Please check again. You may join our WhatsApp also, ma'am. For the WhatsApp group also, I am sharing again the link. And please like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube channel also. So, ma'am, here I have shared the WhatsApp group link also, YouTube channel also, where you can subscribe, like, and comment for more informative workshops. And the attendance sheet is also been circulated again. So thank you so very much, my dear educators, for sparing time to attend this workshop. And I believe that it was really informative session, not only for you, but for me as well. So thank you so much for sharing your insights. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a very good and fruitful evening.